அப்படிங்களா? உங்களுக்கு டவுன்லோட் தான் எனக்கு ஷேர் பண்ண முடியும். நீங்கள் டவுன்லோட் ஆனதை எனக்கு ஷேர் பண்ண முடியும். அதனால் உங்களுக்கு டவுன்லோட் ஆகும். போட்டியிலிருந்து இதுக்கு போகிற மாதிரி இருக்குங்களா?
Very good afternoon, one and all present here. First, welcome address given by our beloved HOD, Dr. P. Selvam, sir.
The Warrior Engineering College, a Constituent College of Vinayaga Missions Research Foundation Team University, organizing an online seminar on exposure and field visit for problem identification. So in this auspicious online seminar, I welcome the resource person, Engineer A. Sivaraman, Assistant Executive Engineer, Tanjatco Namak, who is the well-known resource person in the region of Salem and Namakkal. He has delivered a lot of guest lecture and seminar. First, I welcome Engineer A. Sivaraman, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next, I take this opportunity to welcome our beloved principal, Professor Dr. A. Nagappan, who is our instrumental brain. Because of his continuous encouragement and support, we can able to organize the online webinar on the exposure and field visit for problem identification. I welcome our beloved principal, sir. Welcome you, sir. Next, I welcome Dr. Arun Kumar Madhuappan, IIC President. Also, I welcome Professor Dr. R. Devarajan, Program Coordinator, Electrical and Electronics Engineering, and renowned persons, expert persons, and also I welcome all the participants who spared their valuable time to listen to this seminar. I welcome you one and all for this online webinar. Thank you. Over to Devarajan.
Next, I hand it over to our beloved principal, Dr. A. Nagappan, sir, for introduction of this program.
Good afternoon to all viewers for this session. One of the activity which is coming under Institute Innovation Council of our institution. I welcome and I thank our dear friend Engineer A. Sivaraman as an executive engineer who has accepted to deliver his address on exposure and field visit for problem identification pertaining to generation, transmission, distribution areas. The topic will be much interesting because he is going to deliver a PowerPoint presentation along with some very good videos related to the problem identification. He has created virtually a field visit, and it will be more interesting for the viewers today as if they are in the field. I have to thank Engineer A. Sivaraman for his great effort, and my congratulations to Dr. Selvam, Dr. Devarajan, and Dr. Arun Kumar Madhuappan for organizing such type of activities. I hope the viewers will be enjoying well for another 2-hour session. And my best wishes to all of you, handing over the proceedings back to Dr. Devarajan.
Next, the platform will be handed over to guest introduction by Mr. P. Loganathan.
Good afternoon to one and all. This is Loganathan from Vinaya Engineering College from the Department of EEE. Now I very happy to introduce our research person, Engineer A. Sivaraman, BE MTech MIE. He is working as a Assistant Executive Engineer in Tamil Nadu Electricity Board, Namakkal. He is formally graduated in the Madras University from 1998. And he joined in that the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board 1998. He has 23 years of experience from 1998 to till date. He is continuously visited in that regarding that electricity and the generation transmission for Saudi Arabia, France, Spain and Dubai. He has a working experience 23 years in the field of the electrical power sector, substation, testing, commissioning, erection, maintenance and the training field. And he is continuously working in the same area and achieved as a good scope in that Tamil Nadu Electricity Board. For that, 5 years in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia Award and received the Appreciation and Achievers Award from the Director Generation Standard Go during April 2015. And also visited as a guest lecturer and resource person in the various institutions and universities all over the Tamil Nadu. Now I invite you, sir. Please visit and welcome to the program to provide your lecturer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Loganathan. Next, the platform will be handed out to our chief guest, Engineer A. Sivaraman, for our presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Sivaram, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Respected principal, sir. My respected HOD, sir. Respected Devarajan, sir. And IAC president. And respected Loganathan, sir. And all the participants. I am very much thankful to all of you. The voice is clear. The voice is clear. Yeah, I am very much thankful to all of you, sir, for giving this wonderful opportunity to express
Dear participants, mute your phone.
please mute all the phones.
Mute.
Dear participants, kindly mute your phone. Sir, proceed, please.
Yeah, I proceed. So, this very good opportunity for giving me to exposure the session on exposure and field visit to problem identification. Actually, the electricity they are all electrical engineers. The electricity generation, transmission, distribution, and utilization. It's a vast of very good field. And day to day, we face many problems in the field. Before, as an electrical engineer, all the students and professors, it's a good opportunity to know about the substation, generating stations, transmission, and utilization. Actually, it is better to make a field visit directly, but due to COVID pandemic, it is not possible for us, and we are go through the webinar. So, just before I will start the PowerPoint. Sir, is it visible, sir? Sir, visible, sir?
Sir, tell me,
Yeah.
sir.
The screen okay, sir? PowerPoint?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir, I am proceeding.
No problem, proceed, sir. No problem.
Yeah. So, the exposure and field visit for problem identification in electricity area, that is generation, transmission, distribution, and utilization. Just before that, we just start um, a glance into power scenario in India and in Tamil Nadu, and electricity generation, transmission, distribution, utilization, exposure, and field visit. A virtual video clippings are there, and problem identification. And after that, after identifying the problem, we will find the solution for this. And at last, we will give the feedback and queries. So this is the installed capacity in India, all over India, about thermal, about 2 lakhs 30 megawatt generating installed capacity is available, and followed by the renewable energy sources. We have the installed capacity of 87,000 megawatt, and hydro and nuclear. This is, so far we have the installed capacity, and we mainly depend the generation by thermal generation only, and followed by the renewable, and after that hydro. Nuclear is very small, about only 2% of the installed capacity all over in India. This is installed capacity sector-wise. That is, government, central government is owned about 93,000 megawatt, and followed by the state government. All the state government electricity utilities, they have 1,03,000 megawatt installed capacity, and the private parties plays a major role in the generation of electricity. They have the installed capacity, generators capacity of about 1,73,000, and totally about 3,70,000 megawatt of installed capacity generators we have.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
சார் இந்த பிபிடி அது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட்ல அப்படியே இருக்கு.
எனக்கு மூவ் ஆகுதா சார்?
ஸ்லைடு மூவ் ஆகல. நீங்க பிரசன்ட் பண்ணீங்களா, இங்க பிரசன்ட் பண்றாங்களா?
இப்போ
மூவ் ஆகுது சார். மூவ் ஆகுது சார்.
Okay, this is the installed capacity by the central government. They have about 93,000 megawatt generators they have, and the state government utility, they have about 1,03,000 megawatt of generators capacity, and private parties plays a major role having the generators, and they have about 1,73,000. Totally in India, we have about 3,70,000 plus megawatt of generators we have installed capacity. That means we can able to generate 3,70,000 megawatt at a time. This means the installed capacity. But as of now, we don't need of that much capacity. Our so far the peak reached in India is about 1,60,000 only, though we have 3,70,000 megawatt of generators capacity. And the proposed installed capacity by 2022, as per our Government of India plan, is about, that is 4,79,000 megawatt, 4,79,000 megawatt. That means 479 gigawatt, you can say. That is, coal will stand as it is, and the Government of India is mainly focusing on the installation of renewable energy sectors, that is solar energy and wind energy. The age-old thermal stations, we are in the coming days, coming years, we may close the age-old thermal stations, and we are not at all interested in the coal-based thermal power generating stations. We are mainly focusing on the renewable sources. Even nowadays also, for agriculture consumers, we are giving free power supply for about 10 hours plus. Every day we are giving free powers. Previously, we used to give the free powers in the night times, that is after 10 p.m. in the night to morning 6 o'clock. We used to give, and the daytime some about 4 hours. Totally 10 hours we used to give free powers to the AGL sector, agriculture sector. But what we are doing now, since we have solar power generation mostly and at a less price, so we are making the shutdown of the thermal power generation, and we are utilizing the renewable energy sources, that is mainly from the solar energy. So that's why we encourage the farmers and we are giving the free electricity to the farmers in the daytime, that is morning 8 to evening 6. We are giving free power. We are encouraging them to utilize the power availability from the solar. This is the generating capacity in Tamil Nadu, that is in TNEV. We have the installed capacity of 32,840 megawatt installed capacity we have. That means we can able to generate 32,000 megawatt at a time. But our peak reached so far is lesser than this. We will see in the next. And apart from this 32,000, conventional energy sources, that is from hydro, thermal and atomic, these are called conventional energy sources, is about 56% only. And the non-conventional plays a major role in Tamil Nadu, and we are the leading in the installation of the non-conventional energy sources, that is mainly wind energy and solar energy. That plays about 43.7%. So the installed capacity in our Tamil Nadu is 32,840 megawatt of generators we have. This is equivalent to the installed capacity of our nearest country, Pakistan. Pakistan installed capacity is lesser than this 32,000, but in Tamil Nadu only we have the installed capacity of 32,000 plus megawatt. This is the demand in Tamil Nadu. Our demand so far reached is 16,151 megawatt only. Though we have 32,000 megawatt of generators capacity, we reached the peak so far only 16,000. So we have surplus power. Many of the stations we are under shutdown, especially thermal stations, and we utilize the solar energy. Every day in our website, TANGEDCO and TAN Transco website, we used to publish in the PDF form what is our yesterday demand, yesterday generation capacity, everything. So based on this, I took the value from the net, and yesterday our power requirement in Tamil Nadu was about in the peak lighting peak, that is evening 7 p.m. That is called lighting peak demand. It is about 12,000 megawatt. Morning peak about in the morning 8 a.m. only 8,000 megawatt. Though we have the installed capacity of 32,000 megawatt, and our so far peak reached is 16,000. Yesterday morning it was only 8,000 megawatt was our requirement. The minimum load demand is 10,000 megawatt. Solar generation yesterday we have about 1,500 megawatt. Load shedding and power cut, we don't have any load shed power cut because we have sufficient generation of electricity. We have sufficient power, so there is no load shedding or power cut. Only if any places facing the power cut means it may be a scheduled outage for maintenance of substations, maintenance of electrical equipments. We should give wide notification in the leading dailies and also in the radios and FM radio, everything. As from the morning 9 a.m. to evening 6 a.m. we used to give power shed for maintenance of substation like this. So it is only scheduled outage. It is only planned outage. So as of now, our Tamil Nadu having surplus in the power generation. Our generation is more than our demand. So there is no load cut, no power cut, no load shedding at all. So just introduction to TNEB, that is Tamil Nadu Electricity Board. The TNEB came into existence in 1957, and it is remained a solo energy provider still now, and distributed in the state till 2018. As per the Electricity Act 2003, the TNEB was unbundled, that is reorganized into 3 sectors. The holding company is called the TNEB Limited, and it has 2 subsidiary companies, namely TAN Transco, that is Tamil Nadu Transmission Corporation Limited, and Tamil Nadu Generation Distribution Corporation Limited, TANGEDCO. TAN Transco is engaged in electricity transmission, and TANGEDCO is engaged in both electricity generation and in distribution. This is just organization chart of the Tamil Nadu power sector. And one regulatory commission is there, that is called the Tamil Nadu Electricity Regulatory Commission, TNERC. This is one of the body fixing the tariff rate for the various consumers, for domestic, for industry, for agriculture, for temporary supply, everything. The tariff is not fixed by our TNEB. It is only fixed by the Tamil Nadu Electricity Regulatory Commission. And generation, transmission, distribution. This generation distribution managed by the TAN GETCO, transmission is by Transco, separate entity, and it is a subsidiary company of the TNEB. This is sector-wise power consumption. So, in this 2010 and 11, industry plays a major role, consuming 40% of the generation, and agriculture is about 20%, domestic is about 24%, and the commercial is about 12%. And in 2015 and 16 also, the agriculture services plays a major role of around 20%, and industry is around 40%, domestic is around 25 to 24%. This is the sharing the power generation. So this is the electricity generation and the growth over the years. Every year, the load demand is increasing. Every year, roughly it is about 5%. Every year, the load is increasing. Accordingly, we have to increase the generation capacity also. So we are making very good plan, considering the future about next 5 years, next 10 years, everything, considering the present load and the future load. We plan to increase the installed capacity. Now we are focusing increasing the installed capacity in the wind electric generation and the solar electric generation. So, per capita consumption in India. See, in 2006 and 7, the per capita consumption per head consumption in India is about 672 units per year, and likewise in the year 2016 and 17, per capita consumption per head is 1,122 units per person per year. What about in the world? So this is a per capita consumption in the world average. World average is 3,000 plus. In the United States, they consume nearly 13,000 units kWh in a year per person. Australia followed by 10,000, Japan followed by 7,800, Germany 7,000, and so on. And India is 1,100 kWh per person per year only. So, if any country consumes more electricity, that means they have more productivity, they have more GDP. That's why USA, United States, plays a major role in the world. They have highest GDP. Australia, Japan, they have the highest GDP. So now, we also in India, we come from 600 to 1,100. Still, our per capita consumption has to increase more. Then only our domestic product will be increased and domestic consumption will increase. So this is a type of electricity generation, conventional energy sources, hydroelectric generation, thermal power generation, atomic power generation, that is called conventional energy, as you know well, and non-conventional energy sources, as we know, solar power generation, wind power generation, cogeneration, the sugar mills, cogeneration, pumped storage, hydropower generation. We have many stations in the Nilgiri Hills. This is one of the example. Hydropower plant, how it works, we know well. There will be a reservoir and intake. There will be a space gate will be there, penstock will be there, turbine, hydroelectric generator will be there. So the generation of electricity will be transmitted to the required places where the load is available. This is a simple hydroelectric power plant. The installation cost is more, running cost is very less, and only the maintenance and operation cost. It is a very good one. The problem is we don't have sufficient water at all time around the year. Only in the winter season we have plenty of water thanks to northeast monsoon and the southwest. And the remaining days, many of our dams is nearing empty situation. So we are unable to depend on the hydroelectric power generation. But though we have some waters, and based on that water we can go for the thermal power generation. This is also one of the hydroelectric generation. Very simplest one. This is only the inlet channel, and there will be a course screen. Some of the foreign material will be blocked here, and the water will be here. This is one of the hydropower screw model, and water will be coming from the inlet channel to the outlet, and there will be a small gear and the generator will be there. So from this we can generate a small little power, and we can use this power in the nearby area, one of the hydro very good stations. And this is the generating station in thermal, and we have many thermal stations in Tamil Nadu also near our Medu thermal power station. We have 210 megawatt into 4 units. We have Medu power thermal station 1 and 600 megawatt of installed capacity generator Medu power station 2, Thoothukudi thermal power station, North Chennai thermal power station, and we have many stations in Tamil Nadu thermal power station. But practically in the thermal power stations, in 1 unit, we used to burn 10,000 metric tons of coal per day. So think about the environmental pollution. For generation of 1 unit of energy, nearly equal to 1 kg of coal we have to burn. So in thermal stations, nearly 10,000 metric tons of coal we are burning. And the cost of generation also is about 5 rupees plus. So we are not interested in the thermal stations, and nowadays many of the thermal stations we keep as non-functional, and we are interested in the solar and the wind energy only. This is one of the practical thermal power station. This is steam, and these are the turbines, high pressure turbine, intermediate pressure turbine, and a low pressure turbine, and generator is here. This is one of the practical thermal power station generator yard. This is one of the turbine model in the high pressure turbine. This is one of the practical high pressure turbine. So we can see these type turbines usually during the AOH, annual overhauling period. We can see we can completely overhaul the all high pressure, low pressure, medium pressure turbines and everything. So this is a rooftop solar power plant, and the installation cost is high, but there is no running cost at all, and only the maintenance and salary for the employees. So solar is previously the material cost, installation, the technology. So it will cost about 6 crores per megawatt installed capacity solar. Thumb rule about if we want to install 1 megawatt of solar panels, we need about 6 crores. Nowadays, thanks to the technology development and the price is coming down, initially the generation cost for the solar is about nearly 10 rupees, and after that it came to 7 rupees and 5 rupees like this. Now the cost of generation of the solar plant is about nearly 2 rupees. A Government of India plan is 1 rupee 1 unit. This is the plan. In future, definitely this will be achieved 1 rupee 1 unit in the solar sector. So in Tamil Nadu also, our Government of Tamil Nadu proposing, and they passed on resolution for the green energy sector, and all the multi-story building, all the government building, all the private building, engineering colleges, institutions and everything, they have to install the rooftop solar power plant in their building roof, top of the roof. So they can generate the electricity for their own demand, and if they have excess generation, the excess unit, they can transmit to the TNEB grid also, and they can get the payment for the whatever the energy they sold to the grid, they can get the payment return. So nowadays, all the multi-story building, all the commercial complexes and institutions, they are installing the rooftop solar power plant. In our Tangentco also, wherever we have the own Tangentco own buildings, on the roof, we are installing the rooftop solar power plant. So this is combination of solar power plant and wind electric generation combination. Both we have. Actually, in the wind electric, nowadays we have the wind electric generation, very good wind electric generation also. But it depends on seasonal generation. So they cannot install the wind all over the Tamil Nadu. Only where we can get the wind in most of the year, the places we have to identify the first. Then only we can install the wind electric generators. In our Tamil Nadu, we have the area like Tarapuram, Pollachi, Udumalai, and in southern states we have plenty of places there we can get the wind almost all over the year. So we are installed a solar plant, wind electric generation there. In the solar, actually, it is called the clean energy. The solar is called the clean energy. What it means? For wind electric generation, we don't need any water for wind electric generation. But for solar, we need some water. Can you guess why? Why do we need water for solar electric generation? Normally, we don't need any water for solar electric generation, but the panel directly exposed to the atmosphere. So there is a possibility of getting dust particle on the PV cells. So we have to clean everything. So weekly once we have to inject a water jet on the solar panel. So that's why we can clean the panel, and the efficiency of the solar cell we can increase well. For that, for every week we need to clean, and we need water for cleaning the solar. But for wind, no need of any water at all. No need of any water for wind. So the wind energy is called the cleanest energy than solar. The solar water pumps. This is one of the major. Nowadays in our India, we are very much interested in providing the solar water pumps. Normally, agriculture services, all the agricultural motor getting the power supply from the grid, and they are utilizing for generation of for getting the waters and for irrigation purposes. But now we are encouraging all the consumers to use solar water pumps. So this is one of the example, and presently practically available in the field. For this, Government of India are giving the subsidy to the farmers to install the solar panels, and for maintenance also, and they give major subsidy. Only a small contribution from the consumer side, and only thing, they need not get a power connection from the grid, but they can have the grid connection and meter. If the solar is not available, they can get the power from the grid, and in turn they can give it to the grid also. Ultimately, they can get the power from the grid. So this is the one overall view of the generation, transmission, distribution, and at last utilization. So generation is basically maybe thermal or hydro, whatever it may be. This is the generating stations, and we have generators. The generator voltage is about 23 kV, and to reduce the T&D loss, we are stepping up the voltages. This is called the generator transformer, GT. It is called the generator transformers. It is situated inside the generating stations. And the generator step-up voltages may be around 220 or 400 kV, and it is called a transmission line. The voltage is increased to reduce I square R loss, and consequently the transmission loss reduced. So this is sub-transmission line, and this is called a distribution line, and we have small capacitor transformers. This is step-up transformer, 22 kV to 230 kV or 400 kV, and this step down again for the distribution is about 230 kV to 110 kV, and again this transformers, 22 kV2 and the 440 voltage. We have the distribution meter, and from the LT line, low tension line, we have getting the power supply to the house, industry, and the commercial complexes and everything. So this is the outline of the power sector. So we have various type of energy meters in our tangent utility to measure how much energy we give to the consumers, how much energy we give to the consumers. Maybe these meters, I saw these meters long back. Nowadays these meters are not available. Maybe the latest our engineering students, they may not know these types of meters. These are called electromechanical meters. These are also electromechanical. These meters have so much gears and wheels and everything inside, and friction is lot of friction here. And for example, our aim, whatever the consumer consumes the energy, it has to record. It has to record. But in this meter, if you switch on about 100 watts lamp, then only it will just start to tends to rotate the disc. So consider about the consumption. So it is accuracy of the meter is very, very less in this electromechanical meter. And after this also one of the electromechanical meter, these meters used past days, also having the large number of gears, wheels, etc. inside, and outside a block covered in this meter. Actually, we don't know what is inside. We may not know anything. Only there will be a gap here, and the disc will be rotating, and you have mark on the disc, red color or black color. If it is coming, then you can say that okay, the meter is in the live condition like this. So definitely we may not know what is inside and whether the meter is burnt or not, it is functioning or malfunctioning. We don't know. So this is one of the electromechanical meter we installed previously. Also have less accuracy of these meters and more friction also. So we replaced these meters into these types of meters. It's called high quality meters. This is one of the breakthrough in the energy meters. Most of the houses we installed these electromechanical meters previously, and we have in this meter, one of the good thing is it is transparent cover. The skeleton, what are all the things available inside, we can able to see. Only transparent cover, and it is non-breakable. It is non-breakable. Even if you drop down the meter will not broken. It is a very intact, and that disc at the bottom we don't have any bearing. Think over the disc could be, we have the bottom bearing and the top bearing, but at the bottom we don't have any bearing at all. Only it is under magnetic suspension in the same pole magnetic provided at the bottom of the disc. So the disc is under suspension, magnetic suspension. Only the guiding bearing at the top is available. So there is no friction at all in this type of meters. So even a 40 watts lamp, this meter tends to rotate and the records is better than the previous electromechanical meters. And the dial also very good on the dial. Even some of the consumers tends to do some malpractices in the disc, that is keeping the reverse direction. When the load is forward, some of the consumer wants to do disc in the reverse direction. That means also the dial will be in the forward direction. So we made some setup in the dial. It always make the disc in the forward direction. So this meter is very good meters, and after that still we have some less efficiency, less accuracy in this meter. So, and it have moving part also. Wherever the moving part available, definitely there will be a friction. So we replaced this meter also here. into different meters. Into different meters. This is called different meters or static meters. We don't have any moving part at all. Everything is digital. So in these types of meter, in this type of meter, it is having very good accuracy. It's about 1% accuracy. That means if the meter tends to record is about 100 unit, means maybe 100 plus 101 or 99. It is the most accurate meters. And now we replaced all electromechanical meters in the consumer premises and we installed the static meters. And the benefit and advantage of this meter is there is no moving part at all. The accuracy is very high and the consumer may know how much voltage is available, how much current is available, how much power factor is available. Instant, all the type of instant parameters we can know. So this is a very good advantage of the meter, and we installed these static meters, both single phase and three phase, in all the airfield premises. And this is one of the meter, prepaid meters. This is now we are focusing on our technology into the prepaid meters, like our cell phone. Whenever we have crossed our limit in the cell phone, we used to top up the recharge, doing the recharge in the cell phone. Likewise, this meter have prepaid facilities, so consumer can recharge these meters for a certain amount, for certain units, for example 500 units or 1000 units or 100 units, whatever they need, they can recharge. This meter have one inbuilt switching device, that is one breaker inside available. If the consumer fails to recharge this cord, recharge this meter, the switching unit will open and the supply will not go into the consumers. And whenever he recharges, then again it will close and the consumer can enjoy. So if we plan to introduce this meter, and definitely there will be a big problem from the consumer side. You don't install these meters and install all the meters in all the premises. And if you install these meters in the next house, then only you come here to install these meters, because he is enjoying the power and myself we have to do in the prepaid. So this we face some problem. But as a phased manner, in the selected cities, we are planning to introduce these types of prepaid energy meters. And this is called the smart meters. This is our latest advanced version, the smart meters. And the advantage of the smart meters, so far what we see are unidirectional meters. Only it can consume energy, it can record energy, that's all. These smart meters, it has a mini computer. It can record both the incoming energy and as well as outgoing energy, everything it can record. Normally, we used to install this smart meter in the solar energy, wherever the service available, that is, they have own generation, solar energy generation. This bidirectional meter we are installing, and it has the internet facility also with inbuilt modem and everything. So, whenever the demand required for the installation, it will consume power from the grid, and the excess demand it will automatically inject to the grid, and this is one of the good meters. And for all solar sector, solar services, we are installing these smart meters nowadays. And this is called T&D loss, AT&C loss, that is transmission and distribution losses, and aggregated technical and commercial losses in India. This is one of the main subjects. For example, in our metro, if we generate 100 units power, and if you transmit this power to Salem or nearby Erode or something, about 30% getting lost, and only 70% of the unit we are getting at the load end. So this is one of the problem. Though we spend money for generation of all 100 units, including the losses, we spend money for generation, but 30 units or 30% of the units getting lost in the transmission. So the balance only 70% we are getting at the consumer end. So we have to install additional generators to give supply to the additional consumers. But if you reduce this transmission loss, that is from 30% to 20%, 15%, 10%, everything means we can beneficially utilize the generation. We can beneficially utilize the generation. This is called in 2005 and 6, our transmission and distribution loss is about 30% in India. What is aggregated technical and commercial loss? In this loss, transmission and distribution loss only available. If you include the commercial loss, that means problem in the meters or problem by the consumers or doing malpractices and everything, this is called commercial loss. So if we add both commercial loss, it is called AT and C loss, aggregated technical and commercial loss. This is slightly more than the transmission and distribution losses. Transmission and distribution losses. So our prime aim is to reduce these losses to 15%. For this, the government of India and the government of Tamil Nadu doing many projects and many plans, spend a lot of crores of money to reduce these losses to 15%. Even in our Erode region also comprising Salem district, Namakkal and Erode, everything, they allotted huge amount to reduce these technical losses and transmission losses, distribution losses, called one RAPDRP, Restructured Accelerated Power Development and Reforms Program. There is one program and crores of rupees allotted, and we did some improvement to 30% into 15%. So if we now measuring about the selective feeders where we implemented the scheme, we are getting only 15%. So now we are interested to do the improvement activity to bring down the transmission distribution losses and commercial losses well below the 15% or even below the 10%. We introduce means to decrease the losses. So this is the country worldwide. What is the transmission and the distribution losses? In the United States, it is about only 6%. In United Kingdom, it is about 8%. In Japan, 5%. Russia, 10%. Australia, 6%. The India is about 21% average. It is 21, 25 or around 30. That is average is 21%. World average is only 8%. So all the electricity utilities available in our India, they are now focusing how to reduce these transmission and distribution losses, and they are introducing many schemes to do the improvement activities. Then only we can use power to reduce the T&D losses and AT&C losses to well below the 15%. So problem in the field. What is the problem in the field? Here, to reduce the technical losses and bring it to below 15% in all predominantly agriculture services, connected feeders in the DISCOM. In the agriculture services, once we giving the services, so the consumer enjoys the power at a free of cost. So he no need to bother about what is the efficiency of the motor. Even the good old motor draws more current, and the I square loss is also more. So he don't bother about the losses and everything. But the system that the utility makes huge losses in the transmission distribution loss. So we have to bring down. So the agriculture sector is the unattended area. What we have to do? So the installation of shunt capacitor at the load end after the startup, we are proposing to give all compensation. That is, all the induction motor runs at a low PF, for example, at a 0.5 lagging PF or 0.45 lagging PF. But they no need to pay penalty for running the motor at a low PF for the agriculture sectors. But for industries or industrial sectors, we installed the meters, and these meters will measure the instantaneous power factor and the average power factor also. The consumer has to maintain the power factor well within unity power factor or nearly 0.995 and everything. But practically it is difficult. Sometimes it is 0.85, it's okay. But if the average power factor below 0.85 means we are making penalty on the consumers. So whenever the bi-monthly reading or monthly reading, by taking the reading, we should register the average power factor also. If the consumer did not maintain the power factor at UPF or 0.9 and above, we are making the penalty, it will come below the 0.85. So all the industries, they are installed the shunt capacitors or automatic power factor correction method. Many shunt capacitors are available, and the shunt capacitors, it will add automatically to the motors, depends upon the average power factor. But for in the agriculture, there is no such type of capacitors, either provided by the utility or by the consumers. These motors always run at a lagging very low PF and make huge losses to the utility. So for this, to give work compensation in the agriculture inductive motors, so as to bring down the lagging PF into unity PF, to reduce the line current and to reduce the line losses, to provide quality power supply by maintaining the voltage profile. Normally, in the distribution, from the distribution transformer, the to in the single phase are 433 voltage in the three phase. The distribution line runs about some 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer in the LT side. And at tree length, the consumer may suffer low voltage problem. The consumer may get 180 or 90 or something. The three phase it is about 350 something. So he faces the problem of the running of the motors. But if he provides the shunt capacitors, the voltage profile will be increased to sufficient manner. So now under implementation, now what we do in our utility, various capacity of LT fixed shunt capacitors are available in the market, ranging from 1 kilo kVR, 2 kVR, 3 kVR and so on. So it depends upon the requirement of the induction motor used in the agricultural sector. We can install 1 kVR, 2 kVR like this. For example, for 3 kVR motor, 1 kVR or 3 HP motor, 1 kVR is enough. For 5 HP, 2 kVR is enough. This is one thumb rule. And even for exact calculation, we can do the power factor calculation and we can do the power factor correction also. The electrician, but normally the thumb rule is okay. For 3 HP, 1 kVR is enough. For 5 HP, 2 kVR is enough. For 7.5, 3 and 10, 4 and so on like this. The electrician capacitors are proposed to install with the agriculture services. These capacitors will be connected with the motors. The motor is switched on. So this is one of the main points. The shunt capacitor should not be in the service in all time. Whenever the load is available, the capacitor should come into picture. If the motor is switched off, the capacitor also has to be switched off. Because if the motor switched off, the capacitor in service means, in all the capacitor in service means, instead of the lagging low PF, it will lead to leading low PF. Again, it will be a problem for utility. So it is not a required one. We need to connect the required quantity of capacitors in the required quantity of to the motors. The power factor will be improved to unity power factor, and the line current will be reduced. The losses will also be reduced. In the tangent also, now we are doing this process of procuring many LT shunt capacitors, and the Tamil Nadu Electricity Regulatory Commission TNERC also directed us to install the shunt capacitor to all the agriculture services available in our Tamil Nadu state. The agriculture services about 14 lakhs services available, and we need to. The price of the capacity is very less, but the return back is also very good. Even within 3 months, we can get the investment. So this is the shunt capacitor installed in the motor. This is one of the motor room in the agriculture services. This is called the shunt capacitor. It's about 1 kV or 2 kV or something like this. And we connected this shunt capacitors along with the starters, it is after startup. So if we switch on the motor, the capacitor will come into service. If you switch off the motor, it will be off. So whenever the motor is running, so the capacitor will be included and it will increase the war compensation and the average power factor also to the unity level. This is what we did practically, and we measured the line current, line voltages before installation of the capacitor and after installation of the capacitor. What is the line current and the line voltage, etc. And very good result in the installation of capacitors. That's why our TANGEDCO, not only our government of Tamil Nadu, throughout India, they are now interested to fix the electric shunt capacitors in the agriculture services so as to improve the power factor to UPF, to reduce the line current and ultimately to reduce the line loss. So this is the power factor before and after erection of shunt capacitor. So this is, say for example, this portion is before erection of shunt capacitors. The power factor is 0.85, 0.86 and 0.85 like this in the lagging. And day by day we are increasing the connection of shunt capacitor in the feeder, and we can get the power factor, average power factor increasing from 0.85, 86, 87, 9 and so on under to nearly UPF, unity power factor. This means the power factor is increasing, line current is decreasing, the voltage is also voltage, very good voltage profile. We can maintain the voltage and the consumer end, and the motor runs at a good voltage profile. So temperature in the motor will be reduced, life of the motor will be increased. So many advantages we are. These are the problem we identify at the field, and we increasing this power factor to UPF. So this is another one thing. Actually, we provide nowadays many online services. Online services we are providing. If you go to the TANGEDCO website, and we offered many services. Actually, our aim, the consumer need not come to our office at any time for want of service connection, for example, any fuse of power, and no need to come to the office. Everything is online, and the work will be done. So you can go to the website, our TANGEDCO website, and there will be a option is called apply online. And if you want any new service connection for single base certificate and everything, no need to come to our office. Only from sitting in our home, and you can apply through online. And whatever the documents are required, we did in everything we mentioned in the website. And if you make a click, you can upload the documents whatever we need. And if it is single phase and no poles to be erected, and we will give the service connection within 24 hours, we can get the supply. So the consumer need not suffer by any means. They need not come to our office. Just he can apply through online, and it is our duty to go to the consumer door. So this is the main advantages, and we offered now. Nobody needs to come to our office. Simply sitting in our house, just apply in the online, and we will give you the service connection, even for the name transfer. Whatever the services we need from the utility, electricity utility, and no need to come to our office. Only from the home, only from the website, just you can make entry, and we will do our service to the consumers. And for example, any fuse of call is available, any supply problem, outage problem, or if the consumer facing any problem is also available in the website. Consumer complaint 1912 throughout Tamil Nadu, just 4-digit number 1912. Any consumer, they can make a call, just 1912. So based on their location, the call will be go to the district headquarters, and they will record your grievances, what is the problem in your services and everything. It will be attended immediately. 24 hours center is call center available, and we used to record, and our employees are there to record all the calls 24 hours round the clock available. One of the number 1912, no need to go for any big number, just 1912. Or even in our house, if you face any power failure or voltage, low voltage problem, or any damage to port or inclination of port, low sat, whatever it may be, just make 1912 call, make a dial, and make a complaint. And our staff from the 1912 center, that is Fusa call center, they will record everything, and they will provide you good service within 24 hours. And also the other complaint numbers are also available. This one of the WhatsApp number is also available, 9445850 one of the WhatsApp number is available. So for example, if any places, if you see any low sat, very dangerous to the public, or because we have plenty of lakhs of poles available in the Tamil Nadu, we may not know all the places where all the poles are intact and safety concern. But if the general public, if they see any pole damage condition, or the line is in the snapping condition, or inclination of everything, they can make a snap and send it to the WhatsApp number with the proper address location. This is the location and the area, and the contact number, if available, means we used to go there and we will rectify the problem at free of cost. There will be no charge to the consumers. We will do everything at a free of cost, at the safety of the public. So all the participants in this session, please note down this 1912 number and this WhatsApp number. It is very much useful for all the persons. Sometimes we received a complaint, the public face many problems in getting the problem to be solved. Don't bother about this. Just make a dial for this 1912, or send the WhatsApp images to this number, and your grievances will be addressed. And this one, WhatsApp number for lodging complaint. We have many regions. The Chennai region, we have one WhatsApp number, Kanjipuram, Tiruvallur, Salem, Erode, Namakkal, this number, and so on. Many numbers available. This WhatsApp number also running at 24 hours, and just we will make a wherever, I'd say public interest. If we are going along the road and we are seeing one pole in the damaged condition, or the concrete or the pole is completely damaged, only the skeleton is standing, just to make a snap and send it to the WhatsApp number with the proper location, and we will do the rectification, we will change the pole. So it will safeguard our general public before occurring any accident, electrical accident. It is our duty, because we may not know. If we know this problem, definitely it will be rectified. Lakhs of poles available in our Tamil Nadu, all villages, rural, urban, and everything. So all the places, it may not be possible for us to know the condition of the network. The people available in the area, if they send the messages to our WhatsApp number, it will be good for us to rectify their problem. The contact person, to whom we have to contact if the work is not getting done. What we have to do? There is one assistant engineer. This is section officer is available in the section, and this one of the graduate engineer. So after getting our BE graduation, and we used to recruit every year mostly for the assistant engineer post, and this is our basic level officer, assistant engineer. So in our Tamil Nadu, all the assistant engineers, phone number, email ID, their address, everything available in our candidate website. Depends on the area. Just you can go to the website and find the location. Or in Salem means just to go to the Erode district in Salem, the area of assistant engineer, and the phone number available, email available, everything. So we can easily contact him through the online, everything, and assistant engineer, and so on. So this email and the phone number available in our website. So it will be very good for us, and for the consumer oriented, we are doing to identify the problems and everything. And now just I am make to some clippings, safety clippings, just with the line.
Excuse me, sir. Sivaram, sir. We will share the video, sir.
No. Just before that, one safety video. Just hold on, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Please hold on. Clearly.
Sir, Sivaram, sir.
Yes, sir. One minute.
மீட்டிங் இப்படிதான் வருது. கேட்டுக்கோங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னாரு. நாளைக்கு அவர் வரமாட்டாரு.
Swaram sir.
சார் சொல்லுங்க சார்.
Otherwise, I will share the video.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் ப்ளீஸ். சார் சொல்லுங்க சார் ப்ளீஸ் சார். சார் ப்ளீஸ் சார்.
Sir.
சார் ப்ளீஸ் சார் டெல் மீ சார்.
Otherwise, we will share the video.
No. Just hold on. You will share the video just after 5 minutes, sir. Just one or two another video. Just please hold on, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir,
Sir, only one more video.
one more.
Only one more. Yeah, plus.
Sir, video is not shared for us, sir.
Video வரலையா?
வரல sir.
Video வரலையா sir?
வரல sir, வரல.
முன்ன இதுக்கு முன்ன வந்ததா சார்? இப்போ எப்பவும் வரலையா?
PPT தான் டிஸ்ப்ளே ஆகுது, வீடியோ வரல, வீடியோ ஷேர் ஆகல.
only ஆடியோ மட்டும் வருதா சார்?
எதுவுமே வரல சார்.
சார் நீங்க பேசுறது மட்டும் தான் கேக்குது. ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா மட்டும் பாருங்க சார்.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் நான் இவ்வளவு நேரம் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் ஆகுது பாருங்க. ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர். ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார் பாருங்க.
சார் இப்பதான் ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் ஆகுது. அந்த வீடியோ இப்போ ரன் பண்ணுங்க, வீடியோ ரன் ஆகும்.
சார் இப்போ ஸ்கிரீன் தெரியுதுங்களா சார்?
இல்ல சார், வீடியோ ஷேர் ஆகல.
வீடியோ வரல சார். வீடியோ வரலையா சார்?
வரல சார், வரல.
சார் நீங்க ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க, இப்போ நான் அதுக்குள்ள சரி பண்ணிடுறேன்.
ஓகே சார், ஓகே சார்.
மீட் பண்ணுங்க.
சார் ஷேர் பண்ணீங்களா சார்? சார் வீடியோ மூவ் ஆகல சார்?
ரன் பண்ணுங்க.
சார் வீடியோ மூவ் ஆகல சார்?
Just a minute, sir.
ஓகே சார். Kannan, you want? அடுத்த வீடியோ ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க சார். சப்ஸ்டேஷன் this is one of the substation. Mountain View substation available at Namadipete. This substation, it is a step-down substation from 1 kilowatt to 22 kilowatt. Step-down substation, sub-transmission substation. There are about 2 power transformers available, each 25 MVA capacity. And this is a 22 kV bus. And and this is a 22 kV bus and breakers, LV breakers. Actually, sir, audible, sir? This is a power transformer, 25 MVA power transformer, and it converts 110 kilowatt into 22 kilowatt. Actually, we used to do the actual field visit, but due to the COVID pandemic, it is unable to do the actual field visit. So we are only virtual visit. So this is the radiators, cooling fans, cooling systems, and the conservator is there outside. This is a conservator, and this is the early side, low voltage side, 20 kV, and this is given to the 20 kV bus, common bus. Kannan Kannan PowerPoint video share பண்ணு. சரிமா? This is our control room. In the control room, the transformer control panel and the relay panel is available. All the control and the relay panels for the feeders and transformers, and the group control breakers, and the control panels for controlling the breakers. Everything this is called the control room. This operator desk, and everything we can monitor here, and all the switching operation can be done from here. Sir, my voice is audible or not, sir?
Audible, sir.
Okay, sir. This is the 130 kV control panel. So all the relay, master relay, and that we can measure the instant current, instant voltage, power factor, and everything. And the frequency relay, this everything is available. This is a control and the relay panel, both C and R panel. It is called the C and R panel. This is a DC distribution panel. This DC distribution is required for the controlling of the breakers, for the tripping coil and closing coil. This is a battery charger. In the substation there is a DC battery available. This is a charger. We have standby charger also, main charger and the standby charger. And this is a battery bank room. And these batteries are required. These are electrolyte lead acid batteries, electrolyte batteries. And these batteries is very much essential. It's the heart of the substation for controlling all the relay panels. So every day, every shift operators, they have to check the DC voltage and the specificity of the battery cell and everything. In each shift, they have to measure. There is a pilot cell available, and the pilot fee they have to pay. And this is the bus, 20 kV bus. This is a station transformer. This is used for station lighting and the AC distributing everything. This is a station transformer. This is a common 20 kV bus. From the bus, the 20 kV breakers are available. And these breakers going to various distribution, various area. Depends upon the number of transformers, and the breakers will be around nearly 10 to 11 breakers will be available. Substations are 5, 4, like this. This is a 20 kV breaker, vacuum circuit breaker. This breaker is a vacuum circuit breaker. And there will be a CT also on the back side. You can see the REB current transformer. This current transformer used for both the protection and the metering. How much the current available metering purpose also, as well as for protection also. The secondary 2 core will be available in the current transformers, and it is used for both metering and protection. This is also one of the VCB, vacuum circuit breaker. This is a breaker mechanism. This is called a breaker mechanism. This we have shunt capacitor in the 20 kV bus also. We provided the capacitors, the 20 kV bus, and in the substation end we provided the capacitors. Even on the load end, if the consumer is failed to provide a capacitor, means somewhat we are injecting the wall compensation from the substation itself. Some of the substation having the 20 kV capacitor bank connected in the 20 kV bus to the breakers. This is on agriculture services where we provided the shunt capacitor, multiple capacitors, and to improve the power factor, to improve the low power factor into a unity power factor, we installed the shunt capacitor. This cost about around 600 rupees or 700 rupees, and the utility we ourselves installed at the consumer premises to improve the voltage profile, to reduce the line current, and to improve the power factor. They install this shunt capacitor. By installing this, they do much. It gives much benefit to the utility by decreasing the T&D loss and also increasing the very good voltage profile. So it will be good for the consumers to run his motor at a good voltage. So it is used to provide quality power supply also. Please hold, sir. I will share some videos. It is available here. The text of the video I am going to share. How to share it. How do you click? You have to share. Video share agada sir. Sir. Sir video share agada sir.
ಸರ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ಆಗಲಿಯಾ ಸರ್?
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ರನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ ರನ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
ರನ್ ಆಗಲಿಯಾ ಸರ್?
ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
இது இப்போ ஷேர் ஆகுதா சார்? இப்போ தெரியுதா சார்?
சரி இது ஓபன் எடுத்து கொடுத்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே. சார் ஓகே சார்?
இல்ல சார் ஆகல. ஆகல ஆகல.
சார் இப்போ ப்ளே ஆகுதா சார்?
ஆகுது சார் ஆகுது.
ஆகுதா சார்?
ஆகுது சார்.
கண்ணன் இல்லையா? கண்ணன் சார் ஷேர் ஆகுதுங்களா சார்? சார் ஷேர் ஆகுதா சார்?
சார் ஓபன் வித் கொடுத்துட்டு ஓபன் பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே ப்ளீஸ். இப்போ ஷேர் ஆகுதா சார்?
நோ சார்.
வீடியோ ரன் பண்றது.
சார் ஷேர் ஆகுதா சார்?
நோ சார்.
ஷேர் ஆகலையா சார்?
நோ சார்.
சார் இப்போ ஷேர் ஆகுதா சார்?
நோ சார்.
இல்லையா சார்?
Sir, no problem, sir.
Just I will try at last one. Sir, share agada sir?
No, sir. No, sir. No problem, sir. Leave it that one, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, no problem.
Dear participants, any questions from our side? Any questions?
So please send your feedback and query to this. You can ask for feedback now, or you can send your query to the email ID noted here and the contact number. Also, this is the WhatsApp number. So note on this. So if any query, you can just ask me. Let me answer.
Okay, sir. Thank you. It's the time for a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir.
It's my great pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks in this auspicious function. First, I convey sincere thanks to today's chief guest, Engineer A. Sivaraman, Assistant Executive Engineer, Tanjutco Namakkal, for presenting the session on exposure and the field visit for the problem identification to our students. Next, I thank wholeheartedly convey my thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. A. Nagappan. Without his kind support and motivation, this program may not be grand success. Next, I thank to our HOD, Dr. P. Selvam. Without his continuous support and encouragement, this function may not be grand success. Next, I thank to teaching and non-teaching staffs, watch and watchers of the AAA department for their continuous encouragement. Last but not least, convey my thanks to the participants from the various institutions and make this program as a grand success. Thank you, one and all. And in the chat box, the feedback link is available there. You have to submit the feedback link and then only get the certificate of participation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.